These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? Two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
There's a girl that's been on my mind all the time. Studio. Oh.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome everyone to another episode of America's Barley Basket. My name is Marlon Wells. Sitting beside me is Nathan Fulsebach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are ya?
Oh, I don't know. Not good.
Oh, come on. You're gonna be fucking great one of these times.
There's been times where I've freshly bathed, I've been rubbed down and stretched out, got put in the rack. That really worked over good, but not today. I'm all bound up.
Oh no.
Everything's all tight. Nothing's good. Weak. I'm so weak for some reason, like I was fucking wrestling a bear last night.
You're just exhausted.
Yeah. I had a few Chardonnays, but not a troublesome amount.
Maybe it only takes a few now.
Yeah, that's probably it. That is probably it.
That's a sad day.
Yep.
Can't even party no more.
I did comedy. That meant I stood upright for 30 minutes, and apparently that's excruciating. Standing unassisted for 30 minutes destroys me.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Really puts you out.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I yesterday went to the gym and did legs, and then came home and cleared my driveway.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, that's fucking terrible idea.
Full day.
You know what time I was looking at the clock going, it's got to be about bedtime? 5:45 last night. I was so fucking exhausted. Don't buy a home.
Phew. Wow, golly. I have one of my famous piss mishaps.
Oh, another piss hap.
I know you're a man who enjoys a piss mishap.
I do love a piss hap. Oh, boy. How does this happen so frequently?
I live a colorful life.
That color is yellow.
Yeah. Ooh, on a good day.
That color is brown.
Often is it brown.
Burnt sienna.
I got to preface this by saying I got here. I had all my comedy clothes packed up, just all nice and neat. Got them all ready for yesterday. Realized I forgot a belt.
Oh, no.
Are these the kind of pants you can rock without a belt? Because I got both kinds.
Sure.
A little tighter than others. And these were just tight enough it wasn't going to be problematic. But then when I got moving around, like, ooh, these are kind of...
I'm going to lose these.
Yeah, I don't want to get too fucking animated on stage.
I know how you get on stage.
Yeah. All riled up, all fucking Christopher Titus. And
doing a lot of shuffling.
Yeah. So did my time, didn't even notice it on stage. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
And you know how I get? I got to drink fucking 80 ounces of water or I will lock up on afterwards.
You will freeze up like rusted brakes.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen.
So I have to drink so much fucking water. Did I throw a few Bud Lights on top of that? Fucking probably.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't drive, get dropped off at my car. I'm like, you know what? I might just fucking call it a night, boys. Get dropped off at my car. They all go their ways. Not realizing my body told me 30 seconds too late, holy guacamole, go into your buddy's house and piss right now. So I get in my car, I have to piss. I'm like, oh, you can make it. Fuck, it's 9 o'clock, there's gas stations everywhere. You couldn't have picked a worse spot on a map to piss.
You're the geographical furthest distance from every gas station
city limits.
in
You
town.
couldn't be farther away. So I'm just doing all this fucking mental gymnastics. Oh, if I turn to fucking like, okay, you can get to this one. I am fucking not even a third of the way to it. I am 5 minutes away. I say, brother, you will be mopping piss out of this car. I'm at an age, if it has to happen, and I'm looking around, like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, dude, you're going to start pissing in 10 seconds, whether you're in a car or not in a car. I just whip into what I think is a road. It's a trailer park. Those roads are 8 feet wide. The trailers are 4 feet apart. I'm pissing in fucking Kowloon walled city. There are 200 people within the 50-foot diameter of my vehicle. I don't even know if I got it into park by the time I was out. Door wide open, yanked my pants down like a kid. That I didn't have the belt. It saved me. If I would have had to unbuckle, I would have pissed everywhere in my pants. Am I saying I got every drop of that piss out of my pants? No. But I was fucking thighs together, pants down around mid to knee, pissing violently. They're like, this is a crime. There's no way. One of the people in these trailers is a child. I got my fucking horn out. So I do that. I piss. I'm pushing it out. I'm speed pissing. It's making a weird sound.
Making a whistle.
Yeah. And as soon as it's done, I'm like, and I almost stop mid. No, dude, you've already went this far. You've already committed a felony.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Finish it. Let it end naturally. And I did. Pulled my pants up, jumped in my fucking vehicle, got the fuck out of there.
Holy moly.
I hope some elderly woman witnessed all that. Like, what just happened? She just walked. There is a circle of piss in the snow 9 feet in diameter because there was a lot. Like, what happened? Did this leak out of his car?
You got bad coolant problems with that Saturn? You got to get that fixed.
Unbelievable.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? As far as pissing in public goes, there's probably not a better place than a trailer park to do
There's
it.
other crimes happening.
I get what you mean that it's a dense population, but
And like I did a quick look. Fuck, I think I couldn't have picked every house looked pretty quiet. And then it was like I didn't want to back into a road, so I just cruised through the trailer park. The next fucking trailer park road over, there was a cop slow rolling. I'm sure looking for something, you know.
Oh, I never thought of that. The odds are you're going to run into a police officer in the trailer park.
Yeah, that was the 7th worst thing happening in that trailer park.
100%.
There was definitely bigger fish to fry than me fucking taking a piss.
There's somebody in one of them trailer parks being flayed.
Yeah. I wonder how many fucking welfare checks happen in a lower class trailer park. Fuck me, got to be a lot.
I bet there's a bunch. I bet it's a busy mail day.
I bet 8 old women a year are eaten by their pets in trailer parks. How would you know? The place already reeks, you know? Like, it already smells like animal piss now.
Now a little Nathan piss in there too. Nobody will notice.
Maybe freshen it up.
It's all just methamphetamine use and barking dogs.
Yeah. A lot of barking dogs in a trailer park.
Is there a market in today's, let's call it volatile real estate market, and you know, with wages being what they are, is there a market for a slightly step up trailer park? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to live like an animal. You've got a little more than that. You're making $50,000 a year.
Yep.
Not enough to buy a house, but you'd like to not have to throw your money away on an apartment.
Yeah.
Is there a market for people, honestly, if my age, 35 to 40, who are just like doing a little better than getting by and want to own a home? Is there a market for come to this nice trailer park?
There's a couple of them in Fargo.
Is
I
there?
can picture them. I had a buddy that lived in one. Yep.
Of course, you know all the trailer parks and what personalities they have.
Yep. I was like, I totally looked. When I was like 25, I was like, instead of renting, we could get, but the fatal flaw in Fargo, because the rent is still too cheap. Like
for an apartment.
Yeah. Like I bet lot rent in a nice trailer park is over $500 a month.
Okay.
So that right there just takes so much like the savings you could get. But I think though, anyone that has if you have the credit to buy a nicer trailer house,
You've got the credit to get a house.
to get a little starter house, I
Sure.
think. But I mean, those trailer parks have people in them, and they're still doing okay. So there must be a market that does go for that. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder if a trailer park manufacturer like that sell new trailers, if they won't work with you a little more than
Sure.
maybe they finance it instead of a fucking bank.
Maybe, yeah. But I wonder, there's got to be people making bougie trailers. There's got to be trailers out there that are nicer than any apartment I've ever lived in.
Oh, totally.
You know?
Have you ever been in a double wide built in the last 30 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I could only think of a couple of them, but yeah, that's like if you were to tell me this was a house, I would have believed it.
Yep, totally.
Like,
yep.
Just a normal, nice ranch style house. Like,
There's up the road here to the north, there's I don't know that it's a trailer park or if it just so happens that there's 8 trailers that you can see from the road, all of them with big, nice fenced-in yards and shit.
Oh, but at one point, that trailer park was the place to go if you had just gotten out of jail for a child sex crime. My buddy's wife worked at social
That's not
work.
this one down here to the south? That's not the one
No,
over by
it's
Big
not
Herbs?
the one you'd think. It's the one
it's
to the north.
nice one,
Yep,
huh?
right by the road. And I'm guessing someone's like, motherfucker, we got to get some nice trailers to block off the fucking monster factory that's happening right 40 feet behind this fucking like tree row.
Because there's a Buck Wild trailer park right down here.
I love that one because it's loud and proud right on the main drag. Some of those trailers are wild.
And they built it so close to the road.
Yeah.
If you're driving down that stretch of road and reach your hand out your window, you can high five somebody in their trailer. It is right there.
High fives from all the unsupervised kids that live in that trailer. Yeah, that's my kind of trailer park. It's pretty big too on both sides of the road.
It's a dirty one.
I didn't get enough trailer park cruises in before the snow flew. That's always regrettable. I love a good trailer park cruise.
Oh, I never thought of what is the fucking snow removal like at a trailer park. I'm sure the plows come through those roads, but I bet they're the fucking last ones on their route.
I wonder. I know the one I grew up in was technically out of town, so they had a third party do it.
Oh, sure.
I don't know if the other trailer parks do that. I bet you do. I bet those aren't technically roads. I bet that's like a driveway.
Yes, I bet you're right.
Yep.
I bet it's just like a leasing company has to pay for snow removal.
Yep, exactly. Like a big apartment complex.
Yep,
I bet that's exactly how it works. I know when I was a kid, it was dope because they'd push all the snow into a mountain and that became fucking the goddamn fucking Thunderdome. Yeah, where it's just fucking like a 17-year-old kid power fucking bombing a 4-year-old girl. Like, what's happening right now? Where are the adults? None of the teenagers can read. There were some troubled. The older kids in the park were so troubled when I grew up.
God.
Like that's like hoofta. Yeah, thinking back to that. Like, why are you hanging out with 8-year-olds, man? You're fucking 17 years old. You shouldn't be hanging out with 8-year-olds.
You ever see that though? That's a thing I remember seeing as a kid. The like 14-year-old who's like not popular at all with his own age group. So he has like an army of 9-year-olds that all think he's the coolest.
Yeah.
Like, that's a weird phenomenon.
I remember that on the bus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's where it happens.
And even then I knew, like, why is this kid talking to all of us so much? Like, what's going on in his own
because
grade?
he also brought action figures for the bus.
Oh, that fucking time when I was in kindergarten, I heard those older kids teasing one of the other kids about being a pussy. And I was like, I bet a kindergartner could beat you in arm wrestling. And I happen to be a kindergartner. Hey, that kid's in kindergarten. Like,
oh,
shit.
no.
Like, you got to arm wrestle him. I'm like, oh, no. And I was twice the size of him. He's a very small boy. And I remember like thinking like, do I beat him or do I just lose gracefully?
Right.
What will get me out of their fucking crosshairs?
Do you make it a match?
Yep.
Do you get dominated?
Yeah.
Like, what'd you end up doing?
Called it right. I just fucking clobbered him, and then they all just jumped on him and made fun of him. I knew he wasn't a threat. He was bullied so hard that they fucking got all the life out of him. And I just went and hid with the other.
You tripped the person you were with so the bear could eat them,
right.
you know?
Yeah. Oh no, he was with them. So like I didn't like that kid. If he wasn't so small, he would have been a dick to us too.
That's probably the right move.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, just go for it, man. Like, but then what that did, then they started choosing me to be on their baseball team, and they all didn't like me. But I was relatively good at baseball for a 6-year-old. God, what a thing. It was me and all the hockey player kids. I'm not part of the gang.
You're a star baseball recruit at 6.
Yeah. Yeah, the one family, their dad sponsored a baseball team, and they seemed to fucking handpick their roster. Like, so much pressure on you.
Oh, no.
I do remember that kid that got bullied on the bus, he's the reason I collect baseball cards as a kid. he brought a pencil box, like the snap top pencil box, full of baseball cards into the dugout. And I was like, what are these? Like, fucking baseball cards, shithead. Like, I don't know anything. I'm sorry. I'm 6. I just learned to read. And I was like, these are fucking dope.
It's pictures of baseball players, numbers on the back that I don't understand.
Yeah, and then there went the next 5 years. Every nickel I ever made got thrown away into baseball cards that are literally worth less than the paper they're printed on. Amazing.
Burn them for fuel.
Yep, grind them up and use them for insulation. Be far better use.
Bring them to campfires in the summer.
I sold my entire childhood baseball collection, I think, for $30.
Holy
and I mean,
moly.
I had like 2 or 3 complete sets, like purchased, wrapped in the set and with a million binders. And I remember I told my buddy that, is like, you made out well. Like, you did good. The fact that someone gave you money for it is amazing.
That's
like,
crazy.
Isn't that wild? Like, if you own baseball cards between 1987 and 1992, grind them up. They are fucking huge.
Mulch
I
'em.
mean, granted, there's always a handful of exceptions, but if those exceptions aren't in insanely pristine value, start them on fire.
Throw them away, yeah.
Yeah, feed them to the fucking hogs. They would probably be worth more as hog feed. I'm sure hog feed's cheap, but silage can't be expensive.
Silage ain't free, though.
Yeah, exactly. Mix in some baseball cards. What a thing to witness on the farm. Just dumping a few baseball cards into the grinder as it's running. The ink's good for their coat.
Got a big wash basin full of baseball card pulp that you're sprinkling into the feeder wagon.
And during COVID, the whole world got back into sports cards for a hot minute because we're all locked in our house. Hey, what's in the attic? And I had buddies that reached out to me because they knew I still kind of kept a toe in those waters. And hey man, I was like, look at them, like, I got this, blah 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 blah. It's like, I can't stress enough that it's worth a 100th what you think it is. So it's in really good shape. No, it's fucking back then, from 1900 till 2010, fucking 75% of the cards out of the pack weren't mint.
Sure, yeah.
They weren't fucking centered right.
Have you touched it?
Yeah,
Then no.
yeah. And odds are it's cut in a way that already makes it an 8 out of 10. Like, and it's just like, but no, no, I know you want it to be worth money. You want to think that not your entire childhood investment was a waste, but it was.
We all love Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah.
We all want to discover something in the attic that is secretly worth millions of dollars.
I think I've maybe talked about this on here, but my folks, fucking, they are ride or die Antiques Roadshow warriors.
Oh, yeah? Fuck
Love
yeah.
it. Love it so much. They watch the reruns because and now there's like a Antiques Roadshow remix where they put it out and it shows the year. But what they do now, and they show what the value was at that time, and they show you what the value is now.
They update it, yeah.
And what I have been blown away by, almost 75% of antiques have lost significant value.
Yep.
I just assumed that was something that always just creeped up. Like, nope.
Nope, because it's all about what, like, value is based on what will someone else pay for it. And like the people who love antiques are phasing out.
Yep.
And our generation is not super into antiques.
And like they're talking like a lot of like older Gen X, like they're in their 50s now. Like they just, that's not their thing. Like
it was their parents' thing.
Yeah. And pretty much every generation before, you know, I'm sure always what was hot changed. Like my dad, like he watches that show, like he'll buy like old glassware and like, oh, fucking shit's not worth anything. Who would want this?
Yeah.
I don't get like, just like, why was there ever a demand for this to begin with?
I saw one friend make out like a bandit on a fucking set of glassware. This was 10 years ago, probably. Big thrift store guy. Love going thrift shopping.
Yeah.
Looking for what can I flip. He was one of those guys.
Yeah.
Found a fucking a real crystal in the box decanter set, like 6 rocks glasses and a decanter, and then got to looking on it, and the manufacturer stamp was from such and such city in West Germany specifically, so or maybe East Germany, so you could place what time it was from, so it's genuinely from when the country was split up.
Yeah.
And like he did his research, and it's like, oh, this $22 decanter set I bought is worth something like $800.
No shit.
Yeah, isn't that fucking wild?
Yeah, the shit that's worth money. Like I have, like, my aunt gave me her stamp collection, and it's old enough. Like, there's tons of Nazi stamps.
Oh, fun.
Right? And I was like, is this worth money? You're not supposed to sell that shit, apparently.
It's very state by state. Yeah. You can do it in Minnesota. Yeah. You ever go to that antique mall in Minnesota?
Yeah,
just
they got
off
some
the
Nazi
interstate?
stuff. Yeah.
They got a whole Nazi section.
And I know, or not.
Oh, boy.
But it's fucking historically kind of cool.
It's historically, it's historical.
Yeah.
So
like,
if you like history, it's worth having.
I would think an Imperial Japanese general's hat was cool.
Yep,
like,
totally.
Like, that is fascinating. I don't like Nazis. I just think a tea set is from the Nazi with a swastika is pretty fascinating.
Right? It's like, that's what it is. It's seeing mundane products with a swastika on it, you know, like, ooh, coasters. Oh, no.
Look at the craftsmanship, though.
Like, that's amusing. Yeah. I do get it.
Yeah. But you're not supposed to have it.
You're not supposed to have it. Yeah. You're not supposed to want to have it.
That's kind of cool.
I've been to that antique mall over in Moorhead a handful of times, and every time I'm there, like, you'll walk past the Nazi section and you look at it and just like, fascinating. Yeah. Look at all this shit. Yeah. Look at the size of this belt buckle.
Yeah. I think part of it is like for like hurtful things that you're not supposed to fucking put money into as collectibles. It's not as overtly awful as like Southern advertisements that are just wildly racist, you know? Like,
I am more put off by seeing antique stuff that is prominently racist than I am seeing the Nazi section. And maybe I'm backwards. Maybe I shouldn't be that way.
But I am totally too.
But I will recoil from like, oh, look at this really racist salt and pepper shaker.
Yeah. Think of that. Like we don't need to make this a podcast about race, but
I'm curious where this is going to.
Just living your life. You're a 30-year-old black dude going into the fucking general store in your tiny hometown, and they're selling shit like that. Yeah. Jesus, that's got to be a bummer.
Look at this cookie jar. Oh, no.
Making us look like fucking animals. Good God. Oh, boy. Yeah. This podcast is going down a great road.
Yeah.
The intolerance hour.
Who else had hard times?
You ever visited an internment camp?
What other kind of antiques shouldn't you own?
I have a poster from the Armenian genocide. How that got made.
It's weird they were making those.
Are they selling tickets?
At least we got System of a Down out of it.
We sure did. That rose grew from concrete.
It's a tough consolation prize. Sure is. But I do like System of a Down quite a bit. Holy moly.
You know, are there any? God, why am I talking about internment camps?
He's still going.
Are there any up that are like, hey, come like you can go visit a fucking concentration camp? I mean,
oh, you mean to go like tour
somewhere in rural Utah? There's like because a lot of those internment camps are kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah, they didn't build them right in the middle of town or anything.
Eastern Colorado, Utah, like what if any of them are still standing?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there were plenty where you could go to. Here's where it used to be, and maybe there's a plaque or a sign or something. But as far as we kept all the buildings up and you can walk through it, I bet not.
Yeah. I bet they realize, we should.
Because the only reason you can still walk through the concentration camps is because the good guys captured it and were like, we got to keep this up so people fucking know we are not interested in letting people remember our own faults.
Yeah, I bet if the Red Army wasn't hustling through Eastern Germany like they were, if they would have had the time, they would have fucking blown up those fucking. There's probably some that did get blown up.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they did some track covering on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone had invaded us while they were up, they'd be up.
Yeah.
You know, because look what they were doing. Look how fucked up that is.
Yeah. Why am I sucking you? And I'm the one bringing these things up.
This isn't we.
Did you know? Fell down a rabbit hole of Israeli settlements. Like, because there was other ideas of where the Jewish people were going to move besides Israel.
Okay.
That the Nazis had an idea.
Oh, boy.
We should never start.
Man.
But I'll tell you what, this idea was better than the one they settled on. They, at one time, when they were plowing through mainland Europe, you know, there was talk there was going to be a ceasefire with England. Mm-hmm. Then they were going to keep fighting Russia. But during that time, because they were all talking, what are we going to do? You know, everyone hates the Jews. What are we going to do with them? Some people were like higher ups in the Nazi Party were floating this idea, Madagascar. Because I think
send them to an island.
Because I think it was like maybe Madagascar was under French control and they had just defeated France. So it's like, well, this is kind of ours now. I might be getting these details wrong, but it's like, that's fascinating. And then something came up where like, oh no, we need these resources for this, so this and this. So how about we go with that guy's plan? Like, I don't know if you're a history buff.
His plan
was not good.
Was not good.
Yeah, like.
That's wild.
Right? Madagascar. Like,
ship them all out.
Yeah.
Like Australia.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Like a Jewish Australia.
Yeah. Like I was talking about this to friends, like, there were people living in Madagascar.
Yeah, also so, that.
Like, how weird all of that would have been. But then, like, if they ever could have got a common language, like, hey, brother, I know this is a pain in the ass, but listen, we had to come here.
You should hear what option B was.
Right? It is not cool. Thank you for letting us live in Madagascar.
Those animated Madagascar movies would be way different.
Yeah, right. Madagascar. Do you know a thing about it?
Nope.
What's the capital?
Couldn't tell you.
Is there a major city? Do they live? Do they love?
Is it fun?
Yeah. Do people who would visit? I guess. Like is it? I was going to say maybe it has nice beaches.
What kind of restaurants?
Yeah,
are there?
right. Yeah, what's their cuisine like?
Cars? Question mark.
Motorcycles, helicopters. How do they get around?
Bass guitars?
How big is it? I think it's pretty big.
I think it's a pretty big as far as islands go.
Yeah. What fascinating. What's the economy? What are they making there? Can you get a bike? Can you get a car made in Madagascar? These are all things.
Cars in the title. There should be cars in the name of the island.
Madagascars. Yeah.
Why isn't someone making Madagascars?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Gas and car are in the name of your island. They only produce electric vehicles. That's the irony.
If you're from Madagascar and you listen to the podcast, let us reach
I
out.
See the numbers. Ain't nobody in Madagascar listening to the podcast. Yet.
That's the goal. Do you have a friend in Madagascar that enjoys The Simpsons?
It's probably not a good sign culturally that most Americans' touchstone for Madagascar are DreamWorks animated movies.
Yeah, or just that it's a big island country, because those are always fun. Look at that. It's an island. It's
Look
like
at that.
Iceland.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's a place.
Look at it. It sure is a lot of water around
Look at that. What? I bet they love splashing.
How do you get there?
Yeah.
Are there cats?
Yeah. What's your cat situation?
I know. I bet I know more about the moon than I know about Madagascar.
I think Madagascar had a giant-ass flightless bird that got cheesed when people showed up. Like, just one of those big dopey birds, and there's nothing big enough to hunt it, so it wasn't afraid of
and
people.
And it didn't know to be afraid of people.
Yeah. Like, what look at us, the little Madagascar knowledge we have. We're dropping it for you.
More zoological genocides happened for exactly that reason, that they didn't know to be afraid of humans.
Yep. Oh my God, yeah. So much dope shit got killed because they didn't know to be afraid of us.
Yeah. So many remote islands down in the like around Australia just had their seal population obliterated because you just trip over the fucking thing.
We used to have woolly rhinos in North America. We used to have woolly giant sloths.
Yeah.
Sloth on all fours could look you in the eye.
Terrifying.
But so big and peaceful because they never had to worry about shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at these little people running at me with sharp sticks. Are these presents? Oh no, my eyes.
Oh no.
Stop stabbing my eyes.
Now I'm being warned.
Oh, this is cruel.
I was just eating trees, but
I guess now they're gonna eat me. There's so many trees they could eat.
yeah, fucking huge fauna is so terrifying.
Yeah.
The giant mammals.
It just shows how cool humans are that we were able to find this and just wipe it out.
Yeah.
The things we can do with sharp sticks.
It's our main advantage over the rest of the world.
Yeah, boy.
Is that we can make a sharp stick.
Yeah. Like mammoths. I think humans are pretty big. I mean, I know the end of the Ice Age too, but I know we hunted the fuck out of mammoths. Like, man,
Pretty tough to resist. It's a mountain of fresh meat covered in the nicest coat you can wear.
Oh my god, I bet it's a satisfying feeling too. Holy shit, we killed that thing.
got it. Holy fuck.
Can you believe this
You're
shit?
looking at Gronk and Crunk.
High-fiving.
Holy fuck, guys.
It worked.
Too sweet me.
Holy shit, a cave drawing of two hands doing the too sweet thing. The NWO Wolfpack Wikipedia page starts at 12,000 BC. Oh, I used to think that fucking too sweet thing was so corny.
I can't agree with you there. I thought it was pretty dope.
You were the right age for it.
Yeah, I was buying it. I was a mark. Oh.
And I love how at that point all the NWO white was just the fucking most forgettable wrestlers, you know?
Yeah.
Like why are they even doing that?
And the old timers,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's basically Hulk Hogan's buddies, pretty
Yeah.
much, like Scott Norton and
Yeah.
fucking whatever they're calling Brutus the Barber Beefcake at
The
that
disciple,
time. The
yeah.
disciple, the booty man, the fucking whatever, like insane.
Scott Steiner,
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Stevie
yeah.
Ray,
Yep. Maybe Virgil.
Virgil,
Or Vincent at that-
at
yeah.
the time, yeah.
Yeah. No one was winning the fucking big strap in NWO
Right.
white. Yeah.
Yeah. Giant would have been in there. It is shocking how quickly this turns into a wrestling
Yep.
podcast. It is genuinely alarming.
From genocide to Madagascar to wrestling.
A to B to C, just like we planned it.
The foundation of a good podcast.
Checking the show notes. Okay, yep, we got that.
We discussed island nations. Jewish immigration. Okay. NWO white and or red.
Nazi memorabilia. Piss tails.
Just-
Woo.
Hey, Marlon.
Hey, Nathan.
You know who never had an alternative solution for the Jewish state?
Oh, boy. Who's that, Nathan?
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
Hey.
I could say 100% that you are right.
Yeah, we watched most of these
That's
episodes.
never been covered.
Yeah.
That would be a buried episode.
Yeah.
They shuffled that Michael Jackson one off to the attic. They would definitely can that one.
That Michael Jackson's so far the only one that's been dropped.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only one I think that's missing, which is really saying something.
Yeah.
Show started in the fucking early 90s back. What a different time as far as jokes go.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm trying to think of anyone that even considered dropping. There's a couple early ones where they really, the way they handle gay stuff
Is not great.
Yeah, they're saying fruity a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt, this is me Babe Ruthin my shot here, I wouldn't doubt if someday, the way he's going, there is a day where the Elon Musk episode is shuffled off this streaming service.
Interesting, yeah.
I don't see him turning that ship around, so he can only get more extreme than what he is now, and it gets worse every day, frankly.
If DraftKings is offering a favorable line on that, might be a decent long-term investment.
Yep. I'd put some money down on that. Episode 19. We're so close to the end of this season, Nathan. Or next week, we will be out of Simpsons.
I can smell it.
Is that what that smell is?
Yes. It's my body missing the Simpsons.
Do you make a secretion?
Yeah, a lonesome, yearning secretion.
Nathan hasn't seen The Simpsons in a while. The room stinks.
Burn that bedding.
Episode 19 is right off this episode. 0 couch gags this week, which led me to kind of think about not a lot of couch gags this year, period. We get right into it. Homer sitting at home. It was one of those things I never thought, I bet The Simpsons will make fun of this someday, but seeing them making fun of, sports betting is just everywhere now. I was like, of course. Yeah. Of course The Simpsons have jokes about this. Because it is insane that sports betting is just everywhere now.
After decades of fighting it, now it's like, what does this matter?
Now it's big fucking business.
Like, they show the line for everything on every ESPN
all the time.
Yep.
Every UFC fight, everything.
I don't understand it, and frankly, I don't want to understand it.
It's probably good that you don't.
I do not need to go into that door. That's a door I might not walk out of.
You love to gamble.
And I love sports.
And you love sports.
That's terrifying.
Why don't you sports gamble?
Because that would be the end of all of this.
Or the beginning of something new.
Yeah. That's true, too. Oh boy, I just thought about it, I sometimes hear these lines, and it just seems like that's easy money.
I am thankful that I don't understand the language at all. There's like a language barrier for me of it's odds are at 27-4. I don't know what that fucking means, so never mind.
Pays out $2,300. What to $2,300? What
$2,300? What? Yeah.
Dollars, kisses? I don't. Any of this makes any sense to me.
Also, what barely little I have done, this is a long time ago at this point, 6 years ago maybe. I was in a fantasy football league that was through DraftKings. It was a DraftKings league. Yeah. You put in X amount of money, do fantasy football, and then, you won. And I didn't. I won second, so I got a little money back, but not a ton. Try to get your money out of that. Try to turn fucking DraftKings bucks into real money again
on your checking account, showing up. Yeah,
I never did.
Really, it's still out there.
It's still out there somewhere. Yeah. Somewhere DraftKings has $40 from 8 years ago that I don't know how to get out.
I invested. I put some fucking money to lose on one of those DraftKings things one time. I'll just fuck around with this, and that money's still out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't burn it all up, so who fucking knows?
And I went down the steps, click here to cash out. Okay, now enter this. Now, actually, this money doesn't qualify for being cashed out or something. This is special money that you can't have back.
Yep. Or you have to have a certain amount before you can cash out.
Fuck you. How about that?
I have a buddy that got into. He started remember Fiverr?
Oh just gigs.
Yep, you can fucking sell a doily, fucking write a book report, all these things. If you think $5 is a fair amount, put it on Fiverr. My buddy's thing was, I'll open a doorway for you. That's all it was. And I think he got 10 people to respond. No, 8, because you have to get $50 to cash out. And he's been stuck at that amount. So people are like, okay, man, you open a doorway for me? I was like, yes, I will. It's like, okay, open it. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What doorway needs to be opened? He's just fucking people I just have struggling with relationship with my mom, this and that.
This is therapy.
Yep. It's like, okay, I'm going to be concentrating on this. This doorway should open. What doorway? You'll know when you see it. Thanks, man. That was it.
Holy
I was
cow.
like, how'd that go over? He's like, I don't think I had an unhappy customer. They all seem satisfied, which is insane. He didn't do anything.
Man. I hope he gets 2 more stragglers so he can get his $50
That'd be
back.
so great. 11 years later, he gets a couple more responses.
Ding, it just comes. He gets an email one day, gets a notification. I don't think it was Fiverr, but I did some other manner of self-employment fucking gig shit forever ago during a brief spell of unemployment.
Yeah.
I forget. It was mostly writing gigs, like write my research paper for me is a lot of what the gigs were on there. I think I made $300.
Oh, no shit.
Just on one project. I only ever did one because I got another job fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But they needed it was two guys who created a board game, and they needed jokes written for the cards that you drew.
Really?
So I got like the rules of the game, and here's kind of the theme of the game and all this, and we need jokes for like, here's what the card does, write the flavor text for it, basically. So I wrote fucking probably 50 cards, right? Just quick little jokes about whatever, and part of it was you're not accredited in the game because we're not paying for that. We just give you $300 and write us some fucking jokes. So I never did like keep any of those emails. I'm curious if that board game ever saw production.
Yeah.
Like maybe somewhere out there somebody's playing a board game with my jokes in it.
What year would this have been?
Oh, 2016-ish.
Okay.
Around about in there.
So if anyone plays a board game that from that era that sounds like it has Marlon's particular flavor of comedy, reach out to us. Double dinger if you're in Madagascar. You're really going to help us out.
2 in 1. I feel like that's asking a lot. So Homer's super into sports betting because of course he is. But only playing like dumb gimmick bets, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
Like, because I think those are fun. Like the Super Bowl comes around, bet on how long the anthem's gonna take, bet on the coin toss.
Yeah.
Like that's fun, dumb betting that I could get into. He's like asking his wedding ring for luck. He's like holding it like, oh, come on, baby. And he drops it and it goes under. Goes right between the floorboards. That home needs work.
Yeah, right.
If your floorboards are so spaced apart that you can drop a wedding band through it,
And it lands on the ground.
yeah,
There's
in the
nothing
crawl
to-
space underneath.
Nothing to stop it.
How drafty is that house? I don't know shit about houses or construction or the proper way to build a house.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing directly on the other side of your floorboard should not be your crawl space.
Shouldn't be dirt.
Yeah. So he goes down into the crawl space looking for his ring. I love that the house is just falling apart. One of the fucking braces breaks while he's in there.
His wires exposed.
Yeah, he finds the skeleton of his previous handyman, Doug. He's like, I need a handyman. I used to have one. What was that guy's name? And then crawls past a skeleton. And while he's down there, finds a skunk.
Yeah.
And then finds a bunch of skunks.
They're not impressed with him.
There's a whole gaggle of skunks under his. I don't know that I've ever lived. I bet I have, and just am unaware of it. Crawl spaces, not a thing here because everyone has a basement.
Well, my parents' house doesn't, so that we had some crawl space antics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Skunks,
Golly.
bodies.
I don't know. Well, we had a weasel underneath our trailer house because the trailer house kind of has a crawl space.
Oh, sure.
Because it's just skirting around
Yeah.
the trailer. Yeah, we had a weasel under that. Got in our heating vents in our trailer somehow.
What the
So you'd hear something running around.
In the ductwork
Yeah.
in the house. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't know how the hell that ever figured itself out.
I suppose he died in the ductwork. If we're being honest.
Well, no, I think because you couldn't let that happen.
Because then you got dead
Dead
stink.
stench blowing into your goddamn house. But,
Boy.
I was a little enough kid. I wasn't there to witness that, how that sorted itself. But I remember, going under the trailer house, sometimes something would, if it got super cold, you'd have to get a blowtorch thing and heat something up.
Probably a water pipe down there that would freeze or something.
Yeah, so there was some crawl space antics. I remember, boy, when you saw Dad fucking like popping off the fucking the screen to get down in there, you knew you were gonna have a job you didn't want to do.
Especially if you're little, because then you get sent in there because you can fit.
Thankfully, or perhaps
That was not a concern.
one of the few good perks about being my size. A lot of those jobs I wasn't cut out for. I would just have to stand by the hole and get hollered at when something was needed.
Maybe hold a flashlight improperly somehow.
I don't think this is going to work. You're too far away.
The house I grew up in, the closest thing we had was a big iron door because there was the coal room, led to the coal room. So you pull the bolts out and slide this big cast iron door off the side of it. Now you're shoveling fucking coal.
Simpson's house has a basement.
Yeah. Why do they have a crawl space?
There could be a case where there was an addition built on the house, so there's a crawl space under that. But
maybe the garage, maybe the basement is only under the garage or something like that.
Simpsons house is always whatever you need it to be.
Yep, it's like the Remington Riddle House, Winchester. I got my gun brands wrong. It's like the Winchester Riddle House.
How there's like 2 different rooms with TVs. I think you're the one that pointed that out. Like,
yeah, there's the room with there's the living room, and then there's the room with the fireplace.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that's so weird.
There's the living room and the den.
Yeah.
That
has to be what it is,
I suppose.
Yeah. But like, I'd love to see a above view map.
It's got to be out there.
Yeah.
Someone has drawn that blueprint.
Or how there's the little where they eat lunch or breakfast is different than the dining room. So this is a fancy house.
That's, you got the kitchen table and the dining room table.
Yeah, that's what
I grew up with that.
Fucking Hollywood Wells.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were
all
real
these
Hollywood.
tables, all these different tables,
In
so
our
many
fucking
tables.
farmhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we had like a small square 4-person table in the kitchen. That's where you ate 99% of the meals.
Yeah.
And then the next room was the dining room.
That was the question. So how often would you eat in the dining room?
Once a year.
No?
New Year's Eve when we had friends
Really?
over,
That
you know?
infrequently. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was outside of that, it kind of served as a multi-purpose. Here's where you put the mail, here's where you work on a 4-H project. Clear the fucking dining room table off.
Probably get used a lot more if you were like a bigger family. If you're like, you had 5
Yeah,
kids.
probably.
'Cause that's why they built that shit back in the day,
Yeah,
like,
that thing. I think that thing sat probably 8 people.
Yeah.
That's a big table.
You always blew my mind how old houses were built, how the dining room was such an important part of the house.
Yep.
Fucking bathroom is 4 feet by 6 feet.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Don't shit too hard because you'll pass out.
It's insane to me. Like, just how tiny an old sink basin is. The fuck? How dirty were you?
Or you sit on any grandparent's toilet, how close to every wall, every surface you just have to hope real hard and just senton bomb onto the toilet.
Hope your fucking love handles aren't pushing through the sheetrock. Oh my God.
Or snagging on the vanity on this side.
Oh my God.
You got one love handle 2 feet up because also the toilet is on the fucking ground.
Yep. Like a fucking Japanese toilet. You're just shitting in a hole in the ground.
It's as big around as a coffee can. Old toilets are so bonkers.
Add in to being a left-handed wiper, because back then left-handed people were considered foul.
Yep, sinister.
You wouldn't be able to even fucking. They wouldn't want you wiping left-handed in their homes, so they did not make it a thing that was able to be done.
You're lucky we didn't cast you aside at birth.
Man, yeah. Like, I remember when I first looked at houses, like 12 years ago when I bought a house in Fargo, there 1 out of 3 houses, I was like, well, I can't shit here. I'm going to have to go to the gas station to shit, apparently. So I guess I'm not going to buy this house.
You're telling your realtor every bathroom you walk in, like, can you step out for a minute? You just sit.
Yep.
That's, not a terrible idea. I didn't sit-test any of the toilets in this house when I bought it. Every toilet in this house needs replaced.
Yep.
I don't know what it is. This is a fairly new house. It's a 3-year-old house. Every toilet is round seat and not oblong, and then they're all way lower to the ground than I would ever want.
Interesting. What I noticed, the one thing I changed in the toilet I use, I like a toilet seat with some heft. Like, I don't want and because most modern houses, they're doing everything as cheap as they can to fucking max profits.
I imagine that's why I have the toilets I have in this house.
And every toilet seat is just the flimsiest. Oh, I know what this toilet seat is, because that's the toilet seat you buy when you need to replace a toilet seat in an apartment
that you
before you check out.
Yeah,
you
can grab it and twist it like a cheap frisbee.
Yeah, I want a toilet seat I can incapacitate a fucking burglar with, and I got that now. If I hammered through my toilet seat, hit you in the face, and break an eye socket. So I got the old granddad toilet seat now. There's a character in Mortal Kombat 6 holding something that looks like my toilet seat.
Throwing it like Kung Lao's hat.
Yeah. Comes back to him.
Got it. Huck it like a boomerang. Take a bird out of the sky. The only thing I want in a toilet seat, if I got to go buy a toilet seat today, oblong, not round, and then I prefer a slow close. You know, the ones that, like right now, your toilet seat is up, and you got to put the toilet seat down after using it because you're a gentleman. If you drop it, it slowly goes down.
Oh.
And not just clang.
Yeah.
You know, I hate those.
Yeah. All I care about when it comes to the maneuverability, I want it to stay up when it's up.
Oh,
That's
sure.
fun when you're pissing and the
Yep.
toilet seat just closes on its own. Like, well, guess we're in for an adventure here.
I think the slow close thing comes from, I lived with two other guys way back when, fucking 15 years ago. The three of us had an apartment, and the one guy, every time he closed his toilet seat or the toilet lid, you know, the heavy thing, he would just drop it. We would be in the living room and you would hear him clang, clang. You'd hear that sound 18 times a day. And then
He's
like,
go to the doctor.
and then my buddy who was working for a plumbing wholesaler at the time bought a slow close toilet seat and installed it in his bathroom without him knowing about it. And I don't even think he brought it up. I think he was like, oh, I suppose that's probably loud when I do that.
I bet the toilet seat in my bathroom, the lid has been put down 5 times in the last 18 months.
I almost never put the lid down.
Yeah. I thought that's what you meant, like closing the lid all the way down. That is a level of refinement I just don't have in me. It's like, you could do that. It makes your bathroom probably look better. Unless they want to see the fucking Petri dish that's growing behind the toilet lid in the tank.
You need to not let a Petri dish grow.
That's the one thing you
there.
gotta fucking forget about though until you close it when you're doing a good deep. Like, oh dear God. Is that writhing? Has it gained sentience?
Brother, you got to clean your toilet more often, or aim better, or both.
It's a mixture of all things.
It's
pretty good about always keep the toilet lid. The tank gets dusty, that gets the wipe off. The bowl itself will get the piddle cleaned up. The seat itself get underneath there, but that little back area sometimes that escapes my glance. I get around the base. Got to get the neck. Got to clean up that fucking goatee that'll start growing if you let it.
What is
Your fucking toilet starts looking like Vincent Van Gogh.
what is going on in your bathroom?
Nothing good. That answer.
I will give it this: the worst place to clean in your entire house is like around the bolts at the base of your toilet. You're like on your hands and knees hugging this toilet, trying to reach around to the back, scrubbing where it meets the floor. No matter if you do, it doesn't matter if it's clean and just needs a tertiary wipe. Like getting down on your fucking knees, sweating, just like, God damn it.
It's just fucking Shark Tank. There should just be a thing that snaps off that you can clean and just snap back into place. So you can clean it at fucking eye level.
So I can put it on the vanity and scrub it.
Yep,
and
exactly.
snap it back.
Take it in the shower with you. You know, it's right there.
My buddy's got a toilet. You know what they've done to help with these problems? I forget what they call them, but there's all of the S curve in there and the bolts and everything all concealed now. The toilet is smooth all the way to the floor.
Oh, that would help.
That's smart.
You take off the sheath.
Yeah.
Clean the sheath.
Well, it doesn't come off.
Oh.
All of that's enclosed in there. So nothing can get to it
Fucking
anyway.
Darth Vader toilet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It looks pretty space agey.
Yeah. Sounds like it. I'm going to be intimidated to shit in that thing.
I think you would get past that.
Then I start liking it. Is it way off the ground? Do your feet touch?
No, you look like a kid on the Tonight Show, just kicking your feet.
Look at me.
It's his toilet is so tall.
Boy, I need it. I wouldn't. The way my legs fall asleep on a toilet, boy, can I stay on there too long? Jesus Christ.
Well, that's a sign to get the fuck off of that toilet.
Me collapsing, legs don't move. Like fucking.
You gotta hop down from there and just eat shit.
Like DiCaprio and Wolf of Wall Street when he takes those old Quaaludes.
Trying to get into that Lambo.
Army crawling off the toilet. playing Candy Crush too long.
Oh no. Instagram, you did me dirty again.
Oh, God.
I got caught scrolling. Help.
I don't even feel the pins and needles. It's completely dead.
You're calling for one of your roommates to help you off the bathroom floor.
Wipe first, then pull. No, don't say that. Don't just pull up my pants. I need to be cleaned.
Oh, shit.
We're going to get you that nurse. So keep putting it off. It's time.
We're going to have somebody come live with you,
Yeah.
Nathan. You guys already live with me. I'm already set. No.
Just some middle-aged woman sitting in a recliner reading the paper, and then she hears my bell ring, and she goes up, comes down shaking her head, picks up the paper.
If your roommates start having to pick you up off the bathroom floor with any amount of regularity, they should renegotiate their rent that they pay with you.
Some kind of hours. We should be getting paid for this.
They sit you down, they're having a mutiny.
Yeah.
We're not wiping your bottom anymore.
You do such a good job, you guys.
We want 40% taken off, right off the top.
I just think you're doing a bang-up job. It'll be a reference for any old folks home you apply to.
They're like a union.
Yeah.
So Homer's under the house, and he's getting sprayed by fucking skunks. God damn. I've never been.
Nope.
I bet it sucks.
I bet it is an ordeal to take care of.
I've been near a dog that was sprayed by a
same
skunk,
here.
and that's terrible.
That's as close as I've been.
You got to throw the whole dog away.
Yep, you need a new fucking dog.
Homer's in the backyard, and Marge spraying him down with the hose, getting in there, getting in that bottom.
Yeah, that's a thankless job she's doing. Ugh.
And miraculously cleans his clothes by just some mom remedy.
Yeah,
Throw it in a
little
pillowcase,
of that. Yeah.
little baking soda, a little salt, shakes it up, boom, clothes are good as new. And Lisa, amazed by this, and of course Lisa, thinking globally like she does.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be used to help people like the homeless. I love that we make this joke a couple times, homeless versus unhoused.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
give me a break.
so now they're providing cleaning bags to hobos. Just a table set up somewhere and handing them out. Gil among the hobos, of course.
Gil's one of the first we get to see that it positively affects his life.
Yeah, like throws the clothes in the pillowcase, shakes it up, pulls them out. They're fucking good as new.
Yeah, we get some ridiculous story of why he lost his job. It's always
Unbelievable, Gil.
Yeah, very sad sack.
The Texas oil man is there, throws his hat in it, pulls it out, and it's black. Like, oh, I finally cleaned all that white shit off my hat. That's fun. And he's like, well, I should make a contribution. You're doing all this. And it goes to write a check to their charity. Turns out they don't have a charity.
It's like, write it to me. No, I can't do that.
Because then I can't deduct it.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue how any of this works.
Yeah.
Like you always hear about like, oh, so-and-so gave money to this so they don't have to pay taxes on it. No clue how that works.
I have a buddy who his father-in-law is his accountant. He keeps track of the money he blows on pull tabs and blackjack because it's technically charitable.
Oh, God, because it's charitable gaming.
Yep.
Oh, no.
That's wild. If that,
Oh.
I don't know if he was just fucking telling tales or that's actually true or but I bet if you have a good accountant.
I bet they can spin that.
Yep.
I have never done anything besides standard deduction my entire life.
Yeah.
I've never deducted a thing. I've never, I give to charitable shit every once in a while. Not once have I ever claimed it.
I don't give
know.
enough to keep track of
Right.
that
I don't
shit.
know how any of this works. And I don't understand the core concept of I'm making a bunch of money, so I give a bunch to charity because I get a tax break. I don't undernd it, fundamentally. I don't know how money works.
How do these things work? Oh, I have a few things I deduct. I mean, once you own a house, you can deduct your interest payments. That's a big one.
Oh.
And for years, I always deducted my student loans because that interest is all deductible too.
Oh, yeah. I remember trying to do that, but then not being able to log in on the site, and it was only $80 a year, so I said, fuck it.
Yeah. That's how a lot of that shit wins with me. It's like, this is just the aggravation isn't worth this.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this, and I'm too frustrated to learn right now, so I guess you get my $80.
Yeah, you win.
Spend it on something nice.
Yeah.
So the Texas Oil Man wants to give him money, but can't because they're not technically a charity, which means he couldn't deduct anything from it. So he just pulls his accountant out of the limousine, and they make him an official LLC right there.
He's a rootin' tootin' accountant.
Yep. I love that they do once this is all said and done, and yep, you're a real charity now. Texas Oil Man is shooting his guns up in the air. The accountant is doing the same dance, but with a calculator and a stapler.
Yeah.
Like, click, 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 click. Yeehaw. That's fun.
Yeah.
I like Texas accountant.
Yeah.
So now they're a real deal thing. They got a sign and everything. And one of the ingredients to the clothes cleaning thing that they're giving away to all these hobos is baking soda. And Marge is like, hey, can you run and get some more of this? We're out of this baking soda. And Lisa, of course, is like, oh, we're using this brand of baking soda? It's so unethical. Like, they do, I forget what the exact complaint is, treat their workers wrong or something like that. And
Marge is like, look at the cute smile on the box.
Yeah,
it can't be all that bad.
Glove. Yeah. I love that, of course, Lisa is hung up on this. So she goes, well, if we're going to be doing charity, everything we do has to be done the right way.
Yeah.
Lisa and her principles.
Yeah.
So she goes off in search of a new baking soda supplier, all the way up to the top of a mountain to some Buddhist monks who make baking soda, which is very funny.
Can you imagine the cost?
In the meantime, Marge gets fucking shaken down by a Salvation Army bell ringer. Like, hey, you can't be doing good here. This is our turf. Yeah. That time of year, they're in the goddamn grocery stores making a racket.
Are. Binging and bonging.
Like, I get it.
I'm pretty. I can stonewall them pretty good. For me, it's the Memorial Day. The old lady selling the poppies for, I don't know, some kind of.
I've never seen them out in the wild selling those. I've seen them like at a store, like, oh, there's a little basket of them. I've seen that, but I've never seen any of them peddling.
Yeah. Oh,
you find poppy peddlers out there.
Oh yeah. Here's a couple bucks. It's like, I don't want this. I'm just gonna throw it away, but. I don't know. They just seem so nice, and they're so old, and they're not pushy. So it's like, okay. Like
back home, everybody bought them, and everybody put them in the band of their cowboy hat.
Oh, really?
And wore it all year, and then Memorial Day, you got a fresh one.
What is that? What are they raising money for? Some veterans thing?
Yeah, I think it's a veterans thing.
Yeah. Like VFW type fucking thing.
Yeah. American Legion, maybe. Yep. I think American Legion is the one who sold it back home.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone went and got a poppy every year. Salvation Army, like, they do good, but they also do plenty of bad shit, too.
I've always thought they have a checkered past.
Like, they turned away a gay kid at one of their shelters, and then he froze to death or something like that, because they're very Christian. That's the Christian thing to do, right? Send a human being out in the cold.
Let the gays freeze.
That's on their T-shirts.
Don't isolate that audio.
Make that your text tone. I was solicited by
a prostitute because you emailed her. That's how it works.
That might make me the solicitor, I guess. But oh boy,
they keep bothering me.
I had somebody come to my door a few weeks back. Boy Scout selling Christmas wreaths.
Oh, okay.
Didn't know that was a Boy Scout hustle.
I didn't know they did the wreaths. They did popcorn when I knew the
pop.
kid.
I've seen the popcorn, like
Trail's End.
I've seen the popcorn guys in like the front of a grocery store.
Okay.
But no, this was just some shy teenage boy like, you want to buy a Christmas wreath? And handed me the catalog, and I pretended to look at it for a few minutes. I was like, oh, no, I'm good. Not a few minutes. I didn't make him wait 35 minutes. Yeah. I shut the door, watched an episode of Modern Family, came back.
No.
No, I don't need a wreath. Thank you. Yeah, didn't know they were in that game. I need to find a new fucking Girl Scout hookup for the cookies.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I tried
you got it.
I tried to get in front of whatever sound you were going to make. So Marge kind of down on her luck about how this is going because it's not going incredibly well. And that's when Hibbert's wife shows up and is like, as the wife of a doctor, I know about nonprofits.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very funny. Like, okay, sure. And then does a whole song and dance number about the secret ways of the charity hustle and that it's all about awareness and all about fundraising and all about optics. And not at all about helping people. Marge falls into this right away, of course. Lisa, not into it at all. Lisa comes back from her Buddhist monk baking soda expedition.
Sees how big things have gotten.
They're a huge operation, got dozens of people working there, and like all of these brands using their blue ribbon to spread awareness about, I guess, hobo laundry? Yeah. Is that the cause if you really boil it down? Like, oh, the KFC has our ribbon and this product and this shampoo and this dog food. It's all about raising awareness. And Lisa, not into this at all. Especially when she learns that they're about to get a brand new fancy headquarters thanks to a huge donation from Mr. Burns. Hey. I was just excited that they said his fucking name.
Yeah. What happened?
And then there's a brief, like, Family Guy cutaway of Lenny and Carl sweeping up three-eyed fish and then setting the pile on fire.
Incredible.
As Mr. Burns says, excellent. I was just happy to hear it. They go to Marge and Lisa are fighting. They are not. They're at fucking odds. And they go to PCB. What's the ice cream place? PQB, Phineas Q Butterworth.
There you go.
Or butter something. Buttercream. There we go.
And I think, aren't they using the font on the sign of what used to be TCBY?
Yeah, that's from a few seasons ago. They changed Phineas Q Butterworth to PQB.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a fun update. I think I mentioned at the time. So they're getting ice cream. They're fighting. It's not going well. Marge ends up firing Lisa from her own charity
She's been
company.
let go.
Yeah, the Lisa M. Simpson Foundation. Lisa's been let go from. Homer kind of thrilled about this and doing some okay dad work here by showing her how to be fired.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been fired a ton. Here's what you do. You're in the anger phase now. And then you're going to go to this phase and that phase. Now,
bargaining.
Yeah, now it's the pretending to be at work and just going to the coffee shop instead phase. I like that. Marge seeing now during a board meeting that, they're not actually helping anybody. This is because she's like, well, we haven't been giving out cleaning bags or anything in a while, and everybody else in the boardroom being like, yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah.
It's just about spreading awareness, not actually helping anybody.
Yeah. Just be aware that this exists.
A little piece of me thinks this every October when it's pink everything.
Yeah.
How much of this is getting where it's supposed to go?
The Susan B. Komen Foundation.
I think they got in trouble a few years ago
I feel like that's right.
for not getting as much of the money to where it should go.
Yeah.
There's only, this? I do know this bit of trivia. There is one nonprofit in America, one that gives 100% of everything that they get. There's only one.
Which one?
It is the Ronald McDonald House.
Really?
They are the only ones who give every penny they get. Of all the ones to be that good, it's the fucking McDonald's one.
And I don't even demand someone gives it all away, because the guy infrastructure costs something and this and that. You got employees, but
you got some flesh in the game.
You gotta give most of it away. This shouldn't be a fucking cash grab.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like it's like hospitals.
Yeah,
the amount that goes to administration is so much more than the amount that goes to doctoring.
Yeah. Why? Why is this?
It's broken. Everything's terrible, Nathan.
It sure is.
So Marge not happy about this. We do the big grand opening of their new headquarters, which is gorgeous, huge glass blue building. Marge is feeling shame about this, Lisa was right, and that's when she sees homeless Gil. She's like, I thought we got you back up on your feet again with our clothes cleaning thing. And he's like, yeah, but then they demolished my low-income housing to build that, and it's her fucking new headquarters. And so Marge not into that. She marches into the HQ where they're having a big gala with all the fundraisers, and gives a speech about how they're not doing good anymore, and gives the company back to Lisa, who turns the place into a hobo shelter and lets all the homeless people back into the building, which is nice. And then there's a bizarre speech from Mr. Burns. We finally got Mr. Burns.
He can talk.
He can talk, it turns out, but gives a speech about how, like, oh, come on, why are we upset? We know that we don't do this for the needy. We do this so that they don't tax us.
Yeah.
Which is like, I thought he took kind of a meandering route to get there. I thought it could have been a little more cutting.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of got to parse out what he's actually saying. But yeah, essentially that's the speech of, because everyone's all pearl clutching that there's a bunch of homeless people in there now. And he's like, what? It's not like we're doing this to help people.
Yeah.
We're doing this to not pay taxes.
It's like, instead of having the state do it, why don't we have 160 billionaires who can't agree on anything? We rely on them to give money away to fund this stuff.
Yeah, and they only give to their favorite things. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a terribly broken system.
Yeah.
That's why I get so fucking bristly every time somebody's like, "Oh, Jeff Bezos gave away like $10 million." Yeah, man. Of the $300 million he should be paying in taxes, he gave away $10 million to his own foundation.
He makes $10 million a day.
Yeah, I bet it's more than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. An hour?
Everything's terrible.
Yep. Good.
So I did like, though, at the end of that speech, Burns is like, I paid $10,000 for this table. I'm taking it. So him and Smithers take the table that they're sitting
Just tip
at.
it over and roll it out.
Yeah. And Marge and Lisa make up, and that place is a homeless shelter now. And that's the end of the episode. Except the stinger, which is just a prolonged sequence of Homer getting his asshole washed out by Marge on the front lawn.
Incredible.
Him just, all the noises, from pain to glee to
confusion, scared.
Yeah. He runs the gamut.
Perfectly
fine.
Average.
Not a lot of laughs.
Yeah. Might even be a little less than average for me.
Outstanding to see Mr. Burns, but what is Mr. Burns' voice in this episode?
Weird.
It almost sounds like someone else is voicing him, and I'm positive that can't be the fact.
Yeah. He spoke briefly early in this season, real quick, and it sounded weird then too.
Yeah, I don't know if like as he ages, that actor is having more and more trouble having the same register, or if they had did he have to record this in a men's room, so they had to filter it in such a way to tweak the audio that it sounds off. Like, I don't know what it is, but that whole speech, I was like, this sounds, and maybe doesn't match the mouth movements quite right. Like, I don't know. It looks like, or it sounds like you just took audio from a different thing and stuck it over the top of this.
Yeah.
It was real weird.
Yeah, it is peculiar for sure. Well, one of our faithful listeners will let us know what happened.
On the subject of voice acting, I noticed in this one, and I've brought this up before, I think maybe last year, there were a couple times where I was like, Marge sounds old. Yeah. Marge sounds like Patty or Selma.
Yeah.
You know, more than she used to.
Which I don't think I pick up on that as much, but there is a difference for sure.
Yeah. I mean, fucking time comes for all of us.
Okay, we're up to episode number 20, The Very Hungry Caterpillars. It's breakfast, and Marge is trying to feed Maggie pancakes. However, she refuses to eat them because Marge hasn't put ranch fucking dressing on them.
Can you imagine what that tastes like?
Oh, my God, that's sick.
Ranch dressing is perfectly acceptable on salads and for veggie dipping. Nothing else.
I'll eat it on a fried food.
Really? Like what? Like corn nuggets?
Jalapeno poppers. Chicken wings. Chicken wings, definitely. Chicken wings is the big one for me.
Yeah, people dip their buffalo wings in ranch for sure.
God, yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. Ham and cheese balls, I dip that in ranch.
Really?
Yep.
There are some people who I'm sure are more Looney Tunes than you.
Yeah.
Dumping it on fucking pizza and shit.
Oh, yeah. People love it on pizza.
I don't understand.
I don't like it on a salad.
It's not my first choice. If I'm at a restaurant and they ask what kind of dressing you want, I'm not gonna pick ranch.
Yeah.
But at home, sure, I'll buy a bottle of ranch because it's on sale and use that for salad and for baby carrot dipping or whatever.
Yeah. That's weird. I'd much rather eat vegetables raw with no dipping than fried foods.
Really?
Yeah, I'll happily just eat a pile of raw baby carrots. Right out of the bag, right into my head.
And then dip your fried food in something.
Yeah.
I know, I can't follow you there. I think if there's a fucking veggie platter, broccoli florets and all that, pepper sticks, I think they're getting dipped.
I mean, I'll happily dip, but I can kind of go either way.
But then when I'm at a cafe and I got fucking tater tots or deep fried mushrooms, those are going straight in the dome.
Oh, okay. Mushrooms are good. Deep fried mushrooms is something I would dip in ranch.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. As we brought up with corn dogs last week, not a big condiment, not a big dipper.
Raw dog in your fried foods. Bold choice. So Marge finally gives up and just relents and lets Maggie eat her ranch dressing. This is going to come up later in the episode. During this time, the family gets an emergency alert telling them to watch the TV. Everyone's device goes off.
Including the Roomba and the refrigerator.
Yeah, both good. That was good. Kent Brockman announces that a swarm of Dutch leaf slurper caterpillars have arrived in town. Mayor Quimley announces that the town is going into lockdown until the situation is resolved. The family decides they can do activities together, but they end up watching a show on Binge Plus called Steak, Cake, or Fake. Which...
Is It Cake is a show.
Yeah. So this has to be ripping off that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a play on that.
Also, I loved as soon as you see where this is going.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is late, but okay, yeah let's do one of these. Like as soon as he rattled off this is the time to get into a new hobby like bread baking or jigsaw puzzles. I was like, fuck, remember those days when everybody was doing jigsaw puzzles and baking bread?
So now we're far enough into The Simpsons they're having episodes about the lockdown.
Yeah. This episode aired the first week of May 2023. A full 2 years after lockdown ended.
Yeah.
Like we had juice in our arms by then.
Yeah, by what? Spring, summer of 2021?
I got my first shot in June of 21.
Okay, yeah, mine was a little bit before that. So we were 2 years into juicing when this aired.
Yeah.
That's wild to think of.
I think, not to jump ahead, I think it's a good episode.
Oh, totally.
And it's so great to see them do a COVID lockdown episode, but boy, the timing.
Yeah, like, what do you do in your house when you're bored?
What do I do in my house when I'm bored?
Nothing good is also the answer to that. And while watching TV, Homer manages to log out and they can't log back in because no one remembers shit.
That's such a funny joke.
Yeah, so
if you ever buy a new device, like a new Roku or a new Fire Stick, and you have to log back into all your shit, it's impossible.
What email was I using when I started a fucking Hotmail account or fucking insert Amazon, all that shit, you know?
Which of my 4 email addresses? Yeah. 3 of them junk. I have 3 burner email accounts.
Yeah, I got 1.
Just because I don't want to get fucking junk mail in my real mail account.
Where something important could go.
Where the bills go.
Yeah. So the next day, Springfield Elementary announces that they're going to start remote learning via Chat Hippo.
Yeah.
After the school day ends, Professor Skinner leaves his webcam on, which allows Bart to spy on him. Skinner's cousin Peter is staying at the house during lockdown, and he spent his time sweet-talking Agnes and insulting Seymour, which we get some solid gold laughs during this.
Yeah, we get a lot of good Seymour.
Just sad sack Seymour.
Oh, God, and how much his mom loves Cousin Petey.
Yeah.
And just shit talks Seymour.
Oh, my God. Incredible.
And of course, Bart loving that the camera got left on.
And so this is such a thing that Skinner would do.
Oh, yeah,
just
totally.
allowing the fucking kids to dunk on him the whole fucking time.
I can't imagine, like, me and my shithead high school friends having to do remote learning.
Yeah.
Like,
How do
what
they keep
that
them
must
in
have
line?
been like.
Yeah.
Imagine being a teacher trying to wrangle all these
Oh
fucking
my
kids
God.
on your computer screen.
Yeah. They're junior high. You just know a third of them are cranking one out barely off camera. They're all sweaty, breathing weird. Jesus.
Jacob, everything all right over
Yeah,
there?
you're doing okay. This test pretty hard, huh?
Don't talk, you'll ruin it.
Yeah. Talk louder. So while Bart's doing this, Marge is trying her damnedest to get Maggie to try some other dips instead of ranch because they have ran out. They're ranchless. Maggie refuses and fucking Marge is at her wit's end. And she asks Homer to go see if Ned has any that they can borrow. When Homer starts to get over there, he sees that fucking Ned has a doomsday prepper's worth of food.
Yeah.
Including like 55-gallon drums of ranch and other dippings.
Condiments, yeah. Which we've been in Ned's bunker before. Remember 25 seasons ago?
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Like, we
Yeah.
know that Ned's, because he's got that fucking Christian extremist doomsday streak
Yeah.
to him. I love the visual that we get throughout this whole episode of everything covered in caterpillars. So
Yeah.
it's like physically hard to get places, not
Yeah.
just like COVID was or it was invisible,
Like-
but like Homer has to use that creme brulee torch to get over
Yeah.
to fucking Ned's.
Burn a path through the mountain of caterpillars in his yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. The animation is very good in this.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
caterpillar animation works really well.
Everything's bright red and writhing.
Yeah.
Everything's gross.
And so in the basement, Homer, because he's a fucking idiot, just kind of starts helping himself to all the shit down there.
Like
and,
it's a supermarket, grabs a basket.
Yeah. And that's when Ned kind of starts getting some paranoia thoughts of like, oh, they're just going to take everything from me, you know? And then Ned actually kind of gets fucking squirrely, like, hey, like, get the fuck out of here. I can't remember what he does, but like,
He just gives him like a little plastic ramekin with like
Yeah.
half a spit's worth of fucking
Yeah,
ranch.
that's
in
what it is. Here you-
Sends him on his way.
here you go, pal. This is all you get.
Yeah.
Marge thinks they can ration out that ranch over a couple days before fucking Lisa comes down and just goes, this is going to last for months. So they realize, oh, and Maggie just shoots the fucking, the shot of
Just
like
slams
and
it.
crushes it against her forehead.
Yeah.
I love fucking ranch fucking addicted Maggie. That's a good concept. So this is one of those ones where we have an A, a B, and kind of a C story. Because Lisa is in a rabbit hole of being obsessed with reading about the news. So that's the thing that happened during COVID. People just falling down these holes of like, oh, what's going to happen next? You
Just
know,
constantly looking at your phone.
dwelling on it too
Yeah.
much. Lisa gets obsessed with reading news about the lockdown and gets increasingly worried over it. As a distraction, Homer and Marge like, fuck it, we're going to give Lisa her Christmas present early. It's a Malibu Stacy playset called The Shops at the Orchard. While that's going on, cut back to Bart, the other kids still watching Skinner's camera feed, where Agnes has decided to give the Skinner family quilt to Peter, despite having previously promised it to Seymour. This is when, I think it's right around this time when the kids are like, oh no, like this is when he's like legit sitting there in front of the camera crying. It's like
holding a photo of himself as a toddler with that quilt. Like that was his binky.
yeah, he has like a childhood name for it. Like,
Yeah.
not my nom nom or so, like something like that. You know,
And I love that the person who identifies most with him is Milhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Milhouse like sheds a tear, like, you don't take a man's blankie.
yeah. So Bart's kind of like, oh no, but he realizes, oh shit, like kind of getting feelings here.
Yeah.
Lisa begins to play with her Malibu Stacy set, but she starts to imagine the dolls talking to her about the lockdown. So we know that this is going to involve Lisa in a rabbit hole of madness.
I love fried Lisa. And holy moly, does Lisa lose it in this episode.
After more attempts to get Maggie to eat anything but ranch. Marge finally has had enough. She decides that she and Homer were going to have to break into Flanders' house and steal his ranch dressing. The kids, cutting back, kids are watching Skinner's camera feed. They realize, like, oh, shit, like, we need to fucking help Skinner. And that's when the plan kind of starts getting launched. Lisa's back with her dolls. She finds out they are building a barrier against the caterpillars. So they're like doomsday prepping. Like, and like Lisa shrinks down and ends up, she's like welding fucking Ken Malibu, and he's just okay with it, you know,
like welding him to a chair, like the plastic all melting to make barricades.
It's like that one of the dolls, like, that's my boyfriend, and he's like, that's okay, it's all okay,
it's fine, I'm here to help. Lisa. Oh, Lisa. Not doing great.
So Homer and Marge successfully break into the Flanders' house. They're being very stealthy, but Homer manages to knock something off a shelf, I believe.
Yeah, he makes some manner of noise when he's down there, as Ned and those two fucking mutant kids of his are upstairs singing songs about the end times.
Yeah, how psyched they are for it.
We're going to meet Jesus.
Yeah, the sinners are going to burn.
Holy shit. I like this, like, fundamentalist Ned in this episode.
And when he walks down the stairs after hearing the noise, he's gripping that croquet mallet. Like, this fucking Ned means business.
This is a dark Ned in this episode.
He's done turning his other cheek. He's ready to get violent.
So excited for the rapture. Those people are out there. Those people that can't fucking wait.
Yeah, just psyched for the end of the world.
Oh,
what a thing to be fucking all geeked up over.
Doing anything they can to try and help kick it off.
So Flanders goes downstairs. It looks pretty ominous for the Simpsons. Homer, realizing that he has to kind of take the fall, distracts him so Marge can escape. Homer and Ned then fight. I can't remember what Homer grabs something. They're just random things in the basement.
From the basement, They're like having a sword fight with Christmas decorations.
Yeah. So Homer and Ned fight for a bit before Ned tries to drown Homer in a barrel of ranch fucking dressing. Which I think that's when we get the cut to commercial.
Yeah.
It's him thrashing around in the ranch.
Jesus, Ned.
Cut to the B story. Bart and the other kids come up with a plan to get Skinner's blanket back. Have Nelson call Peter in the shadows looking to buy the blanket, which is one of the better fucking things. When it's all going to plan, and then goddamn Mrs. Muntz walks in. What does she ask?
She flips on the light and is like, Nelson, I made you a ventriloquist dummy so you could tell me Jeff Dunham jokes.
Oh, my God. So good.
Holy shit.
And Peter, I think that's his name, is like, I'm not going to sell this to a kid. This seems fucking fishy.
Offers him $25,000 for this quilt. Oh my God. Jeff Dunham's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, right.
I was enjoying that.
Simpsons are bringing him back, baby.
Everybody's uncle's favorite comedian.
Yep. Woof, yeah. Sure, he still sells out huge arenas when he fucking does decide to tour.
Oh, I'm sure. I bet when he comes to Fargo, he probably comes to Shields Arena, if I were to guess. That's a big one. That's what, 15,000 people fit in Shields Arena?
Yeah, maybe a little less than that, because I don't think it's bigger than the Fargo Dome.
Oh, I think you're right. I don't know what the Dome holds, though.
13.
So. Oh, okay. It's plenty. I'm sure he does very well.
5,000 to 8,000, I would say, comfortably at the Shields Arena, which splitting that money one way.
Yeah.
He's alone. The puppets ain't getting paid. He owns the puppets.
Mm-hmm. I think he also, like, took a little bit of a fucking, like, right-wing turn lately.
Oh, he totally,
Can't say anything anymore, I guess.
Which I think just played into his fan base, so they love him more than ever. So the plan to sell the quilt to Nelson is thwarted. However, Peter insults Agnes and reveals that he was conning her to Nelson, because he knows Nelson must be trying to help out Skinner.
Yeah, So he's like talking shit, like, I'm not going to sell it to you. I've worked hard to con this old woman out of her quilt.
That's when Seymour comes out and reveals that he and Agnes had been listening via Chat Hippo, and Agnes throws Peter out of the house and gives the quilt to Seymour.
And of course, Agnes, like, fucking, as soon as somebody else is shitty, she acts like she's been on Skinner's side the whole time.
We can't forgive Agnes, goddamn.
Agnes Skinner consistently sucks.
So terrible. Such an awful fucking human. For just shouting down these elderly women.
Take that.
Yeah, finally.
Agnes Skinner.
Truth to power against
Finally,
a
somebody.
fictitious character.
You dick.
Back in Ned's basement, Marge comes back and saves Homer by reminding Ned that he's a good person. He's not the kind of man that drowns people in fucking ranch. Ned kind of comes to his senses, realizes he was long, and lets the Simpsons keep the ranch dressing.
Yeah.
Then cut back to the C story, I guess.
The Lisa one, I'm sure.
Lisa helps the dolls make the barricade until one of the caterpillars gets in. Lisa, quick thinking, throws a piece of lettuce from her sandwich at the caterpillar. And when he starts to eat it, Lisa's like, oh, this caterpillar's kind of cute. And realizes this, her fears kind of go away.
Yeah.
He just wants to munch on lettuce, kind of like Lisa. This finally causes her to stop imagining herself be the size of the dolls. And Lisa's back from being fucking out of her mind.
Yeah, she was real deep in it for a while now.
Till the next time anything remotely bad happens.
Like, even the way the dolls talk to Lisa of, like, how can you be in here playing with dolls? It's all going wrong out there. What's wrong with you, you know?
Like, this isn't a time to play with dolls.
Holy shit. The world is ending.
The next day, all the caterpillars have cocooned themselves and the lockdown has ended. So they all walk out the door. It's like a brave and bright new future.
Yeah,
the sun's
blinking
shining.
into the sun.
Yeah, there's all these cocoons, but that's no big deal until they open.
I don't know if you know how cocoons work, Nathan.
So now the Springfield is starting to be swarmed by fucking butterflies.
Yeah.
So they're back in lockdown. So now that Homer has stolen Ned's Godflix account.
Yeah.
And the horror is they realize, all this programming sucks. Except Marge wants to watch it. Like,
yeah, this one looks okay.
Yeah.
The only placard title I remember is Breaking Bread.
Yeah, instead of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Goes to Heaven or something like that.
Yeah.
Must be like that Kevin James brief sitcom relaunch.
Oh, I didn't know he had another one.
They tried to make on a big CBS one.
Huh.
Oh, I don't even, for all I know, it's still on the air, but yeah. Yep, Kevin James decided to give it another fucking try. Yep.
The last time I got a haircut, my barber always just has a comedy up on Netflix on the TV.
Yeah.
And the last time I went and got a haircut, it was Here Comes the Boom, the Kevin James Boss Rudin MMA movie.
Really?
And like it's on mute because we're talking.
Yep.
Sure does look terrible.
Yep. I've seen like Instagram clips of people talking. Maybe it was Boss Rutan talking that Kevin James needed shockingly little training to be a convincing MMA fighter.
Oh, really?
He's like because he was like a pretty good amateur wrestler,
right? Yeah, I suppose.
Like he's like he's like way more athletic than you would think. It's like no shit. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that Boss Rudin got a paycheck. Yeah, I love Boss Rudin.
He's a good character.
Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah. I think Joe Rogan's like like Kevin James knows how to throw a good punch.
Huh? Like
we didn't need to because you need to train them to throw a professional looking punch.
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have called that.
Yeah, so there we go. Kevin James probably can kick your ass. That's alarming. Ray Romano still a pussy.
Yeah, but you could still take Ray, I'm sure. You could probably take everyone else on King of Queens.
Boy, I bet you'd feel bad trying to beat up Ray Romano. I bet he's real low. Like, what are you doing? Stop hitting me, man. What?
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing. He accepts it. It's sad.
Yeah, it's like, oh, man, just trying to take body blows.
I get it.
Yeah, just
I can't do a Ray Romano impression to save my life. My brother's tall.
Yeah. Good episode.
I liked it.
Yep.
Good laughs.
Animation was good. Fun idea.
As much as I love fried Lisa, I had a little bit of a hard time giving a shit about the Lisa part of this.
Yeah.
Like it was just a little too out there.
Yep.
Like her being a doll and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I liked, it's real brief. They only show it for a few seconds. I love that Kirk Van Houten is a fucking anti-lockdown right-wing lunatic.
Yeah.
And, like, he was the right-wing lunatic in that Critical Race Theory episode a few weeks ago. I'm fine with him being the guy that they put all of the MAGA lunacy into.
Yeah.
I hope they keep going down that road.
Yeah, what he's got a sign, like a sandwich. So no, it's not. It's up in the air, and he just gets swarmed by caterpillars, right?
Yeah, as he's shouting about how it's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's a good episode.
Yep, I like that episode quite a bit. I also liked the joke where, like, Ned is actively drowning, pushing Homer's face into that ranch, and then Marge talks sense into him, and they make up, and they apologize, and Homer has his head out of the ranch, and when they cut back, he's got it in the barrel again. Like, Homer.
Yeah, we haven't got fat Homer in a while.
Oh, silly fat Homer. You're so silly
he
and
loves
fat.
Food.
I think a good batch.
Yeah,
all
perfectly
told.
acceptable.
Yeah. That Burns thing is still weird. Like, we finally got him.
Yeah.
And he talked weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Peculiar,
that's about.
for sure.
I might have to look up and see what. It would have been a hell of a thing to do before recording the podcast, Marlon. But
we can reveal it next time we meet.
Alas.
Yeah.
Speaking of next time, we will do episodes 21 and 22, which is the rest of season 34.
Putting a bow on it.
Look at that.
Almost there.
And this, I'm trying to do some math. This thing didn't come out on Disney Plus until like the first week of November. Is that when we started this back up again?
Halloween-ish, I feel.
So if they do that again, hope you look forward to 11 months of the horse shit this time around.
There'll be a lot of it. Buckle up.
Yes. We're
Hot take
too
alert.
hot for TV.
Well, our alarm are European sounding, apparently.
Yeah, like a French policeman.
Yeah.
So we'll do this again next week. We'll wrap up season 34. You got anything going on in life this week?
No.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Real stern.
Yep. Just staring into the abyss.
You and I are going to tell jokes this weekend. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah, going all over. Where are we going to be? In
Reynolds, North Dakota?
Reynolds. Yeah. If you're conveniently located near Fargo, Reynolds is a brisk 60-minute drive.
Not even, I don't think.
Yeah, you're right.
45?
Yep, you're right. You can get there under an hour for sure.
This is amazing radio.
Yeah, right?
Us getting pedantic about how long it takes to drive to a town.
With 80 people in it.
I hope they're all at the comedy show.
Hey, God willing.
Well, not the old ones.
Yeah, not the sad ones.
Or the young ones.
Yeah, or the young ones.
I hope about 30 people are at that comedy show.
Can we pick them and send some home?
Holy shit, what a thing to start doing. Sending out screeners ahead of these shows. See who is and isn't accepted. Yeah. It's not the worst idea I've ever heard in my life.
At an aura of exclusivity around our shows.
Yeah,
so if you'll let us send some of these, the real orthos home, we'd appreciate it.
Get a velvet rope.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. You enjoy whatever it is you got going on. Damn near Christmas.
Fuck yeah.
When the hell is this coming out?
Right before Christmas.
Yeah.
Well,
look at that.
So yeah, by the time you hear our next episode, it will be past Christmas.
Past Christmas, yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I like the next episode will kind of be the Christmas episode because it comes out on the 26th.
Yeah.
So we'll call that one the Christmas episode.
You'll be full of fudge. All your Christmas presents will be laying around
fudge.
you. Some peanut brittle.
I almost bought peanut brittle at the grocery store the other day.
It's the season.
Any season is the season for peanut brittle.
But this is truly the season where it's around a lot.
I love, so as much as like when fall comes and everything is pumpkin spice, I like that because I do like pumpkin spice. But you know what I like even more is when December comes and everything is chocolate mint. Like going to a fucking coffee shop and getting going to Caribou, get a ho-ho mint mocha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Delish.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, the mocha.
So decadent.
Yum, yum.
They crumble peppermint candy in the coffee.
That's too much.
Oh,
too much. So tap it out.
I want it.
Can't do it.
Give it to me.
That's too much peppermint.
No such thing. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Everybody enjoy yourselves.
Bye, everybody.